let's get started. Starting off with Eloise and Joshua, we saw Joshua reveal to Eloise that he is actually not staying with his parents but with his close friend Nat, which sent Eloise into a jealousy spout where when she went Nat, she did not go easy. She went straight in and confronted Nat and Joshua about their relationship, what makes them live together, how it happened, and went along to say that Joshua is actually financially dependent on Nat, which offended both Nat and Joshua. Now in this week's episode, it starts off with Eloise by herself in the Airbnb that Joshua and his friend rented, and she is in tears and having an anxiety attack because she woke up and Joshua wasn't with her and she suspects. She goes on a rant into the camera, and while she's speaking to the producer, Joshua comes inside the apartment and exits without saying anything right after he saw Eloise crying. Eloise follows him outside and confronts him and asks why he left the apartment, and he said it was to give her space. That offended Joshua a lot, and that's very understandable because, as he said, from the second that Eloise went to Australia, he has been paying for all their expenses and he has not asked for any money, and he's been very clear about it. But just because he's staying with his friend Nat and he's got some financial issues after going through a certain bad year, as he said, that shouldn't make her project her insecurities and issues from previous relationships onto him, which he's absolutely right. Honestly, I think Eloise see the positives in Joshua, which is exactly the advice that her parents give her the next day when she decides to call them and get their advice. Eloise's parents surprisingly took Joshua's side in a way, telling her that she's viewing him very negatively and jumping ahead, and that he hasn't given her any signs that he's going to be like her ex, which is perfect advice. And they told her to learn more about him, enjoy her trip, get to meet Joshua more and get closer to him before she jumps to negative conclusions. Josh is thinking of breaking up with Eloise because he can't stand a jealous girlfriend, because that was the reason that he broke up with his ex. Another explosive couple in this week's episode is, of course, Lisa and Daniel, who have really been holding the 90-day fiancé before the 90 days on their shoulders. They finally get to see Lisa and Daniel go to meet up with Daniel's uncle, and both Daniel and Lisa are very, very nervous. Daniel's uncle meets up with them and the atmosphere is so cold and nervous. You could see that everyone there was really tense. Daniel starts off by telling his uncle that Lisa wasn't fully honest the first time that she met his uncle to get his approval, and that she revealed to Daniel that she's actually been married 5 times and she's actually currently... He managed to calm Lisa down, and Lisa literally got on her knees and begged Daniel's uncle for forgiveness and told him that she'll do anything, make her forgive him so that she can marry Daniel. Even after the huge panic attack and a lot of tears, Daniel's uncle still wasn't convinced, and even went as far as to tell Lisa that she always has crocodile tears in order to make him feel bad for her, but it doesn't. Daniel also falls on his knees and begs his uncle to give his blessing and tells him that he loves Lisa and that he wants to marry her. To his uncle's surprise, he was shocked that Daniel really still wants to marry Lisa, and he accepts to speak to the elderly priests, and if they give their approval, then Lisa and Daniel can get married. A hot appearance this week is Laura and Birkan. Laura's best friend finally goes to Turkey, and Birkan tries to make him feel a bit more comfortable in order to get more information out of him. And that seems to have worked, as he has a one-on-one pool game with him where he asks him several questions and confronts him about his feelings towards Laura. And that is when the big reveal happened, and Laura's best friend tells Birkan that Laura actually made a move on him, and he said it was a very obvious move that someone does not confuse, and that he rejected her.
Laura
Now that took Birkan by surprise and actually hurt him a lot, to a point where another person that made an appearance on this week's episode was Emma, where she is on her way to meet up with her ex-fiance Mohammed. Now that shocked me a lot, because not only is she going to meet up with her ex, who apparently broke her heart and she didn't want anything to do with him, but she revealed that she took her engagement ring that Mohammed gave her on her trip to Morocco and even wore it on the way to meet up. It really shocked me on many levels, because it makes me realize that Ziad was actually more right than we even thought, because the reason that he broke up with Emma was because he believed that she was using him to get over Mohammed, and that she lied about a lot of things around Mohammed, and he was right. Emma went to Morocco to meet Ziad, but also took her engagement ring from her previous fiance, while asking and demanding Ziad to propose to her and that they get engaged on this trip. Maybe she knew that she was going to meet up with Mohammed, maybe she was texting him, we don't know, but in this episode she said that she did speak to Mohammed on the phone and that they both agreed to meet up at a coffee shop, and she decided to wear her engagement ring on her finger, and she said that she has hope that her and Mohammed might get back together. Thanks so much for watching. Comment below what your favourite part of the episode was. Like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.